I am on Highway 93. This is called Woodside Cutoff. There's like a little truck stop there. And I came from this direction, that's the direction of Hamilton. And when I was at the Blodgett Park the other day, I gave some wrong information because I thought that the Woodside Cutoff was like 1,000 feet ahead. It's more like a mile ahead, but still pretty close. It's kind of been a problem lately. Stuff here in Montana is bigger than I think. I mean, it's a big state. And if you follow the road towards the mountains, you would go towards Pinesdale, which we might at one point. But today, we're going to go this way towards Corvallis, Montana. Of course, I've lived in Corvallis, Oregon, but today we're going to Corvallis, Montana. So this is mile 52, and here it says Corvallis 2 miles this way, Hamilton 2 miles this way. That's the border of Hamilton. The center of Hamilton is more like 6 miles this way. We have this nice little plaza here. Nice enough, like the one I complained about in Corvallis, Oregon. And this is relatively new. This is like 15 years old. And this used to be a very dangerous intersection, so they built this pretty wide intersection with independent turn lanes, lots of turn signals, and hopefully that makes it more safe. But I don't know, I still feel it's kind of dangerous. And the bike path actually crosses and continues on that side. So this is Woodside Cutoff. So through here, as we go eastward, we still have a pretty nice bike path. Not quite as well maintained as the main Hamilton to Missoula one, but I have no complaints. Okay, maybe one or two. And right before the bridge over the Bitterroot, the trail is ended, and I will have to bicycle over this bridge that does have a sidewalk. A little bit annoying, but tolerable. And just on the other side of the bridge, the trail resumes, so crisis averted. So this is Corvallis, Montana. I thought it was called that because, like Corvallis, Oregon, it is the heart of the valley. I just read that it was called that because the people settled it came from Corvallis, Oregon. Don't know if that's true. In any case, this is Corvallis, Montana, and Corvallis, Montana is a census-designated place, not a city. So it's kind of hard to say what is Corvallis and what is not. I mean, you have a census designation. But as you can see, we're kind of picking up where we actually have some quite dense housing here. You know, you have medium-density apartment buildings here, and there is more of the town, so I'm going to bicycle into the center of the town. So this is pretty much the center of Corvallis. You have a subway, coffee stand, auto parts store, market, bank, the turn 360. This is the East Side Highway. This road actually splits off in Hamilton and goes up the east side of the valley. And highway might be a little bit generous. It's a highway or a road. And I didn't bicycle up this road because from my past experience, it doesn't have a really good shoulder. You have a school over there. You have a really classical building over here. Let's take a look at this. So this says 1894 Brooks Lowell Schools. And when I saw that at first, I assumed I was reading it wrong, but it does say Lowell Schools. So I don't know what we're lolling at, but we do have this classical building here. And 1894, so this Corvallis is a European settlement, dates from 1870. And there are some buildings there. Most of the buildings here are much newer and much humbler. So I'm going to walk down to another center of town, go to the post office. And this here is Willow Creek. And if you look in the distance, the snow-capped mountain and the sapphires is, I believe, Willow Peak. And at some point I might go up this Willow Creek road, but not today. If I continued up the East Side Highway to the north in about 12 or 15 miles, I'd get to Stevensville, Stevie. But we are not doing that today. We're turning and going back into the center of town. This church also looks like this is an original, like, 19th century building. Maybe a little bit later, but this looks like a pretty old building. Nice architecture. So I looked, and indeed, this church is from 1894, so 130 years old. And oldest building in the town, I think, from what I read. So there is a small high school here, as well as an elementary school. And then this is the older Main Street. These are all older buildings. Probably a lot of this is 100 years old. So there's a eye clinic. Here's a pharmacy. And I don't know how active a pharmacy, if that is, or if that is a curio store. I think this had like an esthetician, photography. So a lot of them are actually boutique businesses. And that's actually interesting that Corvallis, from my memory, was more of a little bit less affluent than Hamilton. But now it looks like a lot of places in the valley, it's been settled by a lot of affluent people. And there's kind of cute businesses, which is nice. But also you can have a problem where there's not like a real grocery store here. There's a market. So for me, all that stuff is nice, but I kind of am more curious about the basics. And here we have the post office. Gotta send a card to Scott. I haven't done that for a while. So now I walk down Main Street. In fact, it's actually even called Main Street. A lot of cities, the Main Street is not called Main Street, and Main Street is not the Main Street. And I'm turning and leaving town. So one thing, sometimes I'll say, in a town like this, well, not all the buildings are as cute and charming as this. Sometimes I don't show that because I don't want to point out, oh, look at this trailer park. It's so decrepit. I don't like mocking, or making fun of even showing people's houses. But, hopefully, you saw the apartment buildings and stuff. Important point, like a lot of towns right here, just a mix of very rich homes and kind of lower end homes. A lot of times really close to each other. And then the other thing is I like to show communities, and I showed one more community today. And one of the questions for me is, what is a community? Deep. Because, in a lot of ways, this seems like a community. They have their school. They're proud of their school. A lot of times when you don't have basic services in a community, like you don't have a grocery store, a full-service grocery store, that means the people in this community have to go elsewhere, and this can't really be the vital center of their life. By the way, this is like a more typical little street in Corvallis. So just looking at that, and gonna get on my bicycle and I'm gonna ride back to the highway. This is Old Corvalis Road. This goes south towards Hamilton, and I've ridden this road before, and it's usually a pretty peaceful road, but I remember sometimes it can have traffic on it, so I'm just gonna come back the way I came in, especially because I do want to see the river, which we'll see in a minute. So this is the Woodside Bridge. And this is the fishing access, so let's go down there. Well, we're not going to go fishing. Let's go down there and see how the river is today. River's high today, and this is only the middle of April. Usually the height of the river is towards the end of May, so might be a heavy year. Or it's just an early melt. Yeah, you can see there's a piece of wood floating by. And I've been to this particular place right now where I am right now would be under 3 feet of water. So we have some nice little river access here. People do come here to fish. There's a parking lot. There is a little bit of a trail system that continues on that way, but only for, I don't know, a half a mile or something. This looks like some type of boat ramp or something. Anyway, I throw this in because, I've said there's problems with living here, like in a smaller town, when you don't have a full grocery store or maybe, limited. Sometimes things can look scrappy, but on the other hand, you can come here pretty much every day of the year and enjoy the river, so that's nice. So this is one of the reasons people came. And I could say a lot more about the river here, but I've made a number of videos that I went on for 10 or 15 minutes about what the river looks like, so I don't think I have to do that again today. We have a nice little turnout here. We can look around. I'm going to drink something, and I'm going to get back on the road and cross the bridge. So heading back south. It's about 2:30, and it's actually, reasonably hot today. Even though I like it being warm, I hope it doesn't get too hot too quickly for a variety of reasons. And in that direction, there actually was a pall or haze of smoke this morning from ditch burning, from controlled burning. If there was wildfires in the middle of April, we would be in deep shit, which we still might be. We haven't seen the summer yet. Anyway, so one encouraging note for me, 2 days ago when I went up to Scalco, I got very tired, and I was kind of disappointed because I used to do 30-mile rides like that all the time. And today, I think this will be about 20 in all, and I do not feel tired now. So I think a lot of that was just that I was going uphill, and on this flat bike path, this is easy. So we're going to continue to have more bike rides, but for now I'm going home. Probably won't need to say anything more about it. Today we saw Corvallis. We'll see some more little communities across the valley.